Pineapple Talk on Society Bites Radio. I'm Leah, founder and president of Pineapple Support, a charity I set up in 2018 through working in the adult performance industry. We offer a support text service provided by trained volunteer listeners and an online therapy service staffed by qualified counsellors, psychologists, coaches, and psychotherapists.
Hi, and I'm Shelley, a psychotherapist who's been involved with Pineapple Support since its conception.
If you'd like to find out more on Pineapple Support, please visit the website, which is www.pineapplesupport.org.
So this session is our first of a four-part series focusing on relationships. All of our guests have careers in the adult industry, so we're keen to hear their thoughts and experiences of dating and being in a relationship, and just how they deal with the demands of the work alongside their relationships.
So welcome Callum Cole, who are going to be our first guest. It's really great to have you here with us.
Thanks.
Callum Cox and Cole Connor are multi-award-winning camp performers and amateur porn stars in Scotland. You've been in the industry for almost 2 years now, maybe more. So welcome to Callum and Cole, who are our first guests. It's so good to have you here with us. A little bit about Callum and Cole. They are multi-award-winning camp performers and amateur porn stars from Scotland. And they've been in the industry now for almost 2 years, around 2 years. And I know we met in Berlin around this time last year, which I think was just the beginning of when your career really hit the big time.
Yeah, I think it's pretty fair to say that's when things sort of took off for us.
Yeah, we definitely noticed a difference.
And it was great to meet you there. And thanks for having us.
Pleasure. I love speaking to you guys.
And also, you're both ambassadors as well, aren't you, for Pineapple Support? Is that right?
Yeah, proud to be ambassadors.
That's great.
So this week we are talking about relationships, and it's interesting because having a relationship in the adult industry is really tough. But you guys, you were a couple before you entered into the adult industry, and you decided to do this together, which is super interesting and a really different way to look at having a relationship in the adult industry. So can you start by telling us how it came about, how you both decided together to enter into the industry?
I think it's fair to say our relationship sort of started on camera. Mm-hmm. That's both something we were interested in doing and we talked about previously, but when I say talk about, we didn't really talk about it much. We were sort of in each other's company for around a week before we started camming together. So yeah, our relationship sort of developed on cam, and being an exclusive duo, we only work together. So I think that may be slightly easier, although at the beginning it was sort of a new experience getting into a relationship with someone, but at the same time having so many eyes on them and knowing that sort of sharing the most intimate parts of our relationship with everybody. But I think that's been something that's sort of been key to building our fan base. I think people have liked coming on that journey with us or sort of discovering us, and because we sort of got into camming that way, I think it's fair to say that there isn't really a lot that will hold back.
It's almost like a Big Brother experience.
I was just thinking that, because you've been documented almost sort of on camera from the beginning, haven't you? It's like almost the Truman Show.
Yeah.
That relationship developing, I imagine.
Yeah. No, I had no idea that's how that you were together for such a short period of time. I mean, that must be conversation.
I was his barman.
Yeah, I would say we're pretty much together for maybe 2 weeks, and then we started camming. So yeah, it's also gave us lots of ways that we've never thought about dealing with the partner. But it's been good. It's been good being able to work together.
So what has been the difference? You said, what ways that you never thought that you deal with a partner. I mean, what's what's been the significant differences for you between I'm going to say a private relationship and this, which is a very, very much a public relationship?
I mean, I don't know. The difference is, it was never supposed to be any sort of work. It was always supposed to be fun. But when we sort of realised that we could do this full time, then that was sort of a reason for not holding back. I mean, the difference is to being in a relationship where I haven't done this previously. I don't know that's. I'm sort of stuck for that.
I just think that, like, for us, coming into this as a couple, and also people that don't do this as a couple, we've learned how to work together, and which was really hard at the beginning. We had to realize, like, there's differences between going online and just being us as a couple, which that was one of the hardest things that we had to realize. It's two different things.
Yeah, sort of finding our space, finding the time that was for us, and finding the time that was on camera. That was pretty hard, and I think sometimes we still struggle with that. But to be open and honest with sort of our viewers and the people that we support with, they're very understanding. And sort of they're the ones tell us to sort of take time for yourself.
You say it's a bit of a balancing act of kind of just how much you share sometimes, and
you know, are you having private time and you think, shit, that was really kinky, we should have put the camera on?
Yeah.
That happens quite a lot.
I mean, I think it's fair to say that the most passionate and the most, like, it's always when it's off camera. Like,
yeah, that's so
it's
true.
never intended, it just always happens.
And how do you find, because it generally relationships working together is challenging in its own sense?
Well, I think, to be fair, lockdown sort of highlighted a few key points for both of us where we needed to work on that and take some time for ourselves, because going into it, we sort of maybe not being as worried about other people who maybe need to rely on meeting other people to make content. We were sort of, we live together, we have our own space, we're used to working together, so that didn't seem like a problem. We were almost excited about that, knowing that this was going to be a time where we can do that, and sort of just focus on it. And quite fastly it did get overwhelming for a while, and it reminded us of the first burnout that we had. So we had to take some time for us. We just took a day or two. We didn't really post to social media, and we didn't highlight that we weren't doing it. We bought a blow-up canoe, kayak sort of thing, and went away and just took ourselves up with phone reception for a bit. It was quite good to unwind and take that time for each other. But yeah, living together, calming together, eating together, sleeping together. I think it's having time for yourself and doing sort of the things that we individually enjoy and supporting each other to do them has been a massive factor in sort of a relationship.
So you're saying about your first burnout, because that is a huge problem in the adult industry, you know, particularly when you're your own business, your body is your business. So, you're a one-man band or a two-man band. And usually, you have burnout and there's just one and you go and hide. But I'm sure, were you snapping at each other? Because that's got to be really, really heavy on a relationship when you are
Yeah, our first burnout was really hard. Like, we didn't actually realize what it was until we were actually in Expos Berlin and it had been spoken about. But yeah, there was lots of times where one of us wasn't wanting to record but was wanting to do things with each other, but the other wanted it to be recorded. So it was kind of hard to find that balance. And it took quite a while as well. It wasn't just like overnight that we found it. It took, I would say it took like a month to find. But now we've realised that we definitely have to give time for ourselves as well as time to go online, because kind of like you said, it's all a balancing act and you have to find the right balance for you, and it's different for everyone else.
And so I'm going to go back to when you started camming, because I find this really interesting. The fact that you within 1 week, the two of you were discussing going online. I mean, was one of you
when they say within a week, that was sort of the period that was talked about, and then it was sort of went into action. We'd sort of got to know each other over maybe a month or so before that. He was sort of coming into the bar, and we'd sort of met. But as of like, we went up the road together one night, and we sort of never really left each other from that point. I had actually lost my job in the bar just before Christmas. The bar was closing, and it's something that that I was always interested in. So when I talked to Cole, and he sort of was also interested in it, and to know that he'd looked into it sort of before, we just sort of thought, why not? I was looking for employment, and this.
Muted.
Who's muted? Muted who?
Unmute yourself.
Come back.
They muted themselves.
Hopefully they'll realise in a minute.
Sorry.
What did you do?
Didn't mean that.
Was that a live lovers tiff?
No.
I'm not sure what.
I clicked something on the phone.
What part I got to, it was just sort of saying while I was looking for employment, and it was at that sort of week where we'd got to know, we were properly getting to know each other. Well, I think the fact we were open enough to have that conversation in the beginning sort of says a lot about we're looking back on it. I mean, if one of we were sort of closed the other one completely down, I may not have brought it up again, or vice versa. So yeah, it was just something for a bit of fun with the possibility of making money.
Yeah, we never thought that it would turn into what it has turned into.
And I think that's how we didn't realise experiencing our first burnout, because it was so much fun. We started on cam every night for hours sometime, and it was really enjoyable. But we were finding this new world of webcamming and exploring each other at the same time, and I think getting caught up and all that was maybe what made it hard to realise that we were experiencing burnout.
So, the first time that you went on camera together, how was
I was
that?
shitting myself.
How was it different to the week or 2 weeks previous, or how? I know you said you'd known each other for a month or so, but yeah, that first time you got on camera and went live, how was that?
It was nerve-wracking.
It was very nervous.
We actually didn't have any. We went on for our first week going live, so we done it like about 2 hours every night, roughly. I think it was our first week, and we didn't have any microphone. We didn't want people to hear us speaking or know what we sounded like.
Yeah, we thought, oh my god, if we talk, they're gonna know where we're from.
Yeah.
But a week into, I googled our username and saw some pictures of us that sort of spurred me on. I was like, well, we're there now. Yeah, but both, I think, to be fair, that's quite a good thing to point out about each other. We started it as sort of fun. It wasn't trying to sort of, I didn't even know there was award shows, and there was all this sort of industry behind it. All this sort of, it's crazy. But then oh my god, I just lost my train of thought there.
You did it for fun,
yeah. I've totally lost my train of thought.
You didn't really
see
award-winning cam performers.
Like that was crazy. We did, like as you said, we didn't know there was an award show, and we were actually online one night. We used to go online like all the time, and then obviously we've realised we needed a balance, but we were online